everyone has a capacity to do everything. In a sense, all the 12 signs are within us. The only reason they're pronounced is because at the point when we're born, there are specific energies that are more pronounced in the atmosphere. There are specific signs that are out or in specific positions, and they pull out certain energies or the aspects of certain signs within us at that moment. But we have all the signs within us, and they can be developed. So by becoming more rounded and doing perhaps practices like this, we become a balanced man. Gurdjieff would be proud. But yeah, we become a more balanced individual, and you could say the ego, or I don't want to use the word ego. Our essence, our soul becomes more rounded, and the soul is that thing that's us, but in the internal worlds. So if you work on the soul, it emanates outwards, and we begin to change. Whereas things in a lot of this world, they just want to change the external thing, and that essence, the soul, is left to undeveloped. So that's I don't know if I answered your question. I just didn't declare anything.
No, that was good. Thank you.
Yeah.
This whole system is built on based on going from top downwards.
Yes.
Which is not what we're used to being told. But it's usually that bring the energy upwards. But you're saying the difference between Eastern and Western.
Yes.
Is this part of somehow balancing the kind of something that if we just use the Eastern method of just always looking to move the energy upwards, this is some sort of more relevant to Western?
That's an interesting topic. So this is something that's, it's kind of interesting, but in the end, globalization, people are so mixed now that I'm like half Greek, half technically people are like Parsis from Mumbai, so I've got India, so I've got like a mix. So I'm basically used to, I can do both sides, man. How would I put it? I've been mentioning a bunch of people, but like Gurdjieff, in Beelzebub's Tales to his grandson, he talks about on Earth how each of the continents emits a different vibration. And so all of the different races, and he says it has an effect on the architecture. So the different races or groups that go to those continents or land masses begin to change and begin to act in certain ways. And so if you're born in a specific even location, or perhaps even as well, we all have lineage, we all have blood and tradition. Within our blood and within the place that we're born, there's an energy that we work with, or which can create a kind of a style. Just like how architecture is different, there can be different systems that aid us more or more potent for us particular. Like Krumheller was a Western guy, and he was also German, before World War II. So he was a bit of a white guy before World War II. So he actually didn't like Hatha yoga at all, and he kind of he didn't like some of the yoga systems, and he kind of dunks on them in some of his literature, which is a bit I feel it was not unjust, but it's quite funny some of his perspectives. But there is an idea that, I don't know, if you're entirely Western and you try to just go into yoga or just go into Taoist alchemy, it may not work as well as if you do a Western method. But in the end, I know, transmigration of souls, who's to say that you haven't lived all of your lives in the East and then for some reason your soul has been incarnated in the West. I would say with things like that, just follow your intuition. Because, what's that phrase? Your intuition is God whispering in your ear. So it's it's your higher self, your being whispering into your ear. So it's you should be guided to certain systems, or certain systems should have a proclivity for you. When I've noticed myself, in some classes, when I mention Kabbalah, some people like Kabbalah, and then other people whereas if I say Taro, then it's the opposite. And so some people just have different proclivities for different things. But that's more, I would say that's more to do with intuition, which method may work with you. It's you have to nut that out for yourself.
Good old Joe Campbell, follow your bliss.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah.
Just with the occult practices in regards to timing, you say starting with Aries, so would that be a set time of month in the year, or is that just I'm going to do it tomorrow, so I start with Aries?
I mean, you can do that, but it's said it's more potent in the month of Aries. what is it, in the 20th of March, Aries is
Yes,
starting?
yeah.
Be only a couple of weeks
Yeah.
when the sun
Gotta
moves
get in
into
quick.
Aries. The start of the astrological year.
Yes.
New Year.
It follows the astrological year.
Yeah.
So if
Right,
you, yeah.
Yeah, so that's more potent than actually just say starting tomorrow, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also